Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, geez, long time. Hey, guys? Too long. But I'm super excited this morning. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit and see if anyone's going to come on here with me. I've been really, really dedicated to my one-on-one clients lately. As in, like, sorry, I'm trying to get my phone to sit down properly. Woo! I have been so invested in them. I've got some, wow, crazy, powerful, like, whoa, geez. crazy, powerful women that I'm working with right now. Oh my goodness, this is going to give you guys a headache. Hang on. Let's see if I can get it to stay still. Crazy, powerful women that I'm working with right now. They are on fire. Their energy is like, it's insane. It's intense and it's powerful and it's positive and they are in it to win it. They are ready to heal. It's awesome. Okay, so I've been giving them, so I'm fixing my fuzz here, a lot of just like energetic energy. So super awesome. And my kids went back to school today. So it's bittersweet. I'm not that mom. This took me a long time to admit. I am not the mom who feels like I need to, okay, no, let me word that differently. I wear so much guilt. I feel so much guilt that I feel this way. And the way that I feel is freaking happy that my kids are back in school. Because although there's a part of me that always has to work on the nobody can do it as well as I can, and I homeschooled for a year, so I know how challenging and how hard that is and what I want from other people and teachers, but at the same time, I am a better mom when I am not with my kids all the time. And I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but I am a better mom. And this isn't actually the topic that I'm going to talk about. In the heading, I put, let's talk about something no one wants to talk about, but I'm going to let people jump on. I'm a better mom when my kids are away from me for a period of time because I need to talk to big people. I need to feel like I'm helping people and I want to inspire people. I want to be around people that inspire me. I want to have alone time. I want to challenge myself, and there are things that I want to do that I don't want to do with my kids. So this morning I dropped them off, and it was bittersweet because I was really sad that they're growing up, and you know, Riley's off to grade 2, Aiden's off to grade 4, and it's like everyone else that's a mom that's like, time goes by so slowly until you have kids, and all of a sudden you can't slow it down. And that was really sad, and yet at the same time I said to my husband, because we dropped them off together, I feel like we should invite all the parents over that we know and have wine and celebrate. Like I'd be that I've turned into that mom that you see on the commercials a long time ago that they're like, you know, it's the best time of the year because they're back in school. So bittersweet. Say hey if you're on here, guys. I also have a couple big announcements. Only one am I announcing today. And that is that I'm going to start doing the intuitive threads that I do with you guys when we type live, which is super fun and super powerful. So say hey if you're on here. So I'm going to start doing that. Maybe even today I might hop in and see you know, if anyone has any questions that they want to ask me, if anybody wants some intuitive guidance. And I'm very, very clear in the beginning. I'll always say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I am not a relationship marital therapist. But I do go into all areas of, hey, Kimberly, I go into all areas of someone's life because that's what holistic means to me. So it would be abnormal to do a session with me and me not say, I feel this or that about a child or a husband, or there's something going on in this area. that we have to address. Because if your nervous system is going on because of someone in your life, then it's going to affect your health in one way, shape, or form, whether you like it or not. Okay, so I'm going to start doing intuitive threads online like this, which I'm super excited about. So if you see me online, start hopping on and ask me questions that you are looking for some guidance in. It doesn't mean I know all the answers, but I'm here to help, I'm here to share. And every time that I do this, it's also beneficial for me because it strengthens my gift, okay? So the other announcement I'm going to announce later on in the week, but I'm super excited about it as well. And what I'm here to talk about today is the ugly topic of dying. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, there's a few things that people avoid or don't talk about or were never taught about. And sex is one of them, and money is another one, and dying and death is another one. And for me, death was something that was very natural right from the time that I remember walking, because I lived on a 200-acre farm, and animals, specifically cattle, especially when the herds were having their calves, someone make it, right? So it was not abnormal to see a cow ready or waiting for the meat truck to come, right? So I understood the concept of death for a long time. But here's the thought. A lot of people are working with coaches or hearing this or working on their mindset around, how do I live my life to the fullest? And that's super great. It's also a great long-term goal, and a great, everyone wants that. Who doesn't want that? But what is really important is the how. It's not, do I want to live my life in abundance? Do I want to live my life to the fullest? Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? And so the key question is then how? How do I do that with where I'm at right now? And also, when we look at death and dying, how do I get to a state where I understand that this is something that is going to happen to me? And I know for myself for about a decade, and I admire my dad. He's one of my great inspirations, and I consider him a mentor. I used to always say, well, there's two people that will never die. It's me and my dad. And I knew I was joking, but at the same time, I think that part of me was so naive to the fact that someday you actually will no longer be here. And a lot of people get to that point, or a lot of the women that I'm working with are starting into that mindset and that process of that becoming now real. And they're thinking about it more, and they're thinking about their life and their journey and what they've learned. And they don't necessarily focus on the death and dying part, but they're trying to figure out who they want to be for the next 20 or 50 or however many years that they have left here. And I think it's something that everybody needs to start talking more about, because I think it's something that we need to prepare ourselves more. And I think it's something that is actually a beautiful, and that's hard to say, process. And the only time that we're accepting of it is in the ripe old age, where we consider, whoa, there goes my phone, it an okay. It's like if someone's grandma passes away and you say, oh, well, they lived a long, healthy life. But you have to wonder, did they? Did they? Or did they just live a long time? So one of the things that I'm working on with my one-on-one clients, and actually I work on in all of my intuitive sessions that I do, is how to live today and how to live and find peace, so that if today were that last day, heaven forbid, that you had some sort of fulfillment and understanding and peace around what you are as of right now and how far you've come as of right now. Am I making sense? Say hey if you're on here, guys. And this is the ugly topic. Women do not want to talk about this. They do not want to think about what their death would mean. They do not. Is my internet slow? You're frozen on my screen. Yeah, I think so. It's probably your screen. And Yolanda, I sent you a message. I got your message, and if you want to set up, I have one more spot available this week at the discounted price. It's $72.75, which is super inexpensive. I know it's still money, but it's super inexpensive for a one-on-one session with me. If you want to grab that, you're welcome to it. I'd love to talk to you more about what's going on with your physical health, because I do sense a few things that I could chat with you about for sure. Anyway, so a lot of people don't want to talk about the fact that they may not be here at some point. You understand, like you get it on a subconscious level. But what I want you to start thinking about, what I want you to start journaling is how those questions that we don't like to think about, like how, not what you would want someone else to remember you as, but how would you want yourself to be remembered as, and the representation of what your mark was on this earth or on a specific person. Because we're not all here to touch the entire planet. I mean, we are all here to do our part, and you may influence, one person, and you may influence hundreds and thousands of people. But if it was even just one person that you could influence in some way, shape, or form, what would your mark actually be? What would you consider your best attribute while you were here? If we look at it from a mindset perspective, do you want to be known as a person that was super upbeat, positive, or someone who could, the glass was always half empty? That's something to think about. And that's like the ugly truth. And women will say, well, you have no idea what I've gone through. Ladies, I have lived in a closet for a year, almost 2, on my hands and knees begging God for some sort of peace to get out of the hell of what felt like hell of anxiety and depression. So totally have been there. Okay, so we still have to look at the fact that there is a block. There's a block. And maybe you need, like I did, I needed some medication. I did. I'm so pro conventional medicine, and I'm so sick of the holistic world crapping all over, for lack of a better word, conventional medicine. And it's not that I'm pro, like, let's jump on it. I obviously support holistic, strategies before going to conventional. But that being said, I am so supportive of having an antibiotic when you're near death and you need an antibiotic because you have a staph infection. Or, for myself, I had a uterus infection after my son was born, and I would have died had it not been for conventional medicine. So I think people really need to watch their wording. We need to be more appreciative as a whole, and I think that on a universal level, if every single person does their part in creating a more positive atmosphere, that it will actually help on a global level. And I know that sounds really crazy, but maybe that's just me aspiring here. But I really think it is possible. And I think that we need to start thinking about how we're training our kids when it comes to death and these, the ugly and the not what we want to talk about. How are we training our kids to live their life, to care for themselves, to prioritize what's important and what's not important based on how we are living our lives and how we look at death and how we look at our life while we're here and what we're given, right? And what the time that we're given to actually live with. Okay, anyone have any questions so far? I think this is so critical, right? I've been teaching for 12 years now, and it's the amount of women. This is why I like working with adults, because adults don't think they can change anymore. And it's a very fixed mindset. And yet when they do change and they do realize that they can grow, it's the most amazing moment to be able to be a part of that person's life, to see them grow, to see them challenge themselves. But then they block themselves again. They're like, okay, I did that. Now I got to go back to A, B, C, and D, right? So that's, super important. And I want people to start looking at where, when it comes to death and dying, how do you see your value? How do you measure your value right now when you look at the fact that at some point you will no longer be here? That's a heavy question. These are types of mindset questions that I ask one-on-one clients, okay? It's not fluffy. When you are thinking about what kind of life you plan on living for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, however many years that you are blessed to be here, have you actually set up an intentional plan? Do you have, like, obviously anything can be changed, but do you have an intentional plan for what you want to gain from being here and what you want to give from being here? Right? Super, super heavy questions. All right. I'm not going to keep you guys for too long today. School is back on, so I'm going to be back in here 5 days a week. I know I made that promise a few weeks ago that I would be in here more often, but I have to be honest. I was so energetically pulled to give, not in a negative way, but pulled to give my time and resources just to one-on-one clients, and my kids were off for the summer, so any of the rest of the time to them, and that was, it was absolutely awesome. So we had the best summer. I hope you guys made the best out of your summer as well. It's such a blessing to be able to stay home. For me, I know not everyone can do this. Such a blessing for me to be able to stay home with them. That hasn't always been the case, so hats off to all you moms that had to work through the summer away from home, because I know that feeling too, and it can be quite trying on you. And I'm also happy to have my house back, because my house is finally going to be in order again now that the kids are back in school. Anyway, so lots of love to all you ladies. Take some time and think about what and how and the questions that you might want to ask yourself in preparation to what would and what does death mean to you, right? Okay. Lots of love. Take care. Have a wonderful day.